Okay, next up I've got my disc brake cleaner. I'm just going to spray the uppers here and down here. If I wipe down, especially on the bottom. Now I'm going to reuse this travel indicator O-ring here, so I'm not going to spray that with the disc brake cleaner. So move it to the top, spray that down there, and I do have my bucket on the bottom there too. Now I'm just going to inspect my uppers. See if there's any gouges I need to take care of. These feel good. I can inspect these too and see if there's any damage. If there was any damage, you'd know because the fork wouldn't be running very well. So these look great. I'll give you a close up of those. So we've checked the uppers here. They're all good and clean. I'm going to remove this from the stand here and find somewhere safe to put this. This is a quite fragile unit right now, so find somewhere safe and clean to store it whilst we work on the lowers. Now the number one rule with working on lowers is you only work on the one side that's in the clamp. This bridge here will break very easily, it's just cast. So when we're working on it, I'm only going to work on this side once it's clamped in, and then I'm going to remove it, put this side in, and then only work on that side there. So in here is a foam ring we're going to remove and clean. So I've just put a bit of blue paper towel down, and I've got pick here. So that's the O-ring, the foam ring there. Fox don't sell these as a separate part, so you either buy the seals or we can reuse these. These are soaked in oil, but they look pretty clean, so I'm just going to clean this off. Now with my disc brake cleaner, I'm going to spray down inside of here and flush out the fork. Don't need too much. And then using my rag, clean the top of the seal, in here, on the bushing as well. And if you want, you can put this on a dowel and stick it all the way down. So no more dirt around here, so this side's good, so we'll swap over to this one. Spray brake clean down. Clean the top. Inside. The seal and the bushing. There's two bushings, so other ones are a bit further down, so it's a bit harder to get. So here you can see we're dealing with it a little bit better. So here's the dust seal. And the foam ring sits in the void there. That's your first bushing. Then you've got your second bushing down there. Fork lowers there. And you can see this kind of hole or like line in between the two bushings. That's for the air bleeders there. So when you push that, it takes air from top bushing, the lower bushing. And that's the same on this side too, so we've cleaned that one out pretty good. So I've got my two foam rings here. I'm just going to fold over the blue towel and just press on them. Squeeze the old oil out, because they're not actually that dirty. And like I always say, by doing this service every few months, or every quarter, every year, you can save and you reuse these parts. You end up saving instead of spending $50 each time. There we go. So those guys are pretty good. So you can see how much oil came out of those. And darker oil doesn't mean it's contaminated, but that's the 20 weight side and that's the 5 weight side. You can see the color difference. Now normally you would put these in a tub to soak. I don't have enough oil for that, so I'm actually going to put the foam rings back in first, and then I'm going to soak them in the fork, and then close the fork off, and we can finish the job. I like to just give them a little stretch, just a little one, just so when you put the fork uppers back on, they don't get stuck. So foam ring in there, slides in pretty easy, and I like to just spin my finger around like that just so that it sits deep into its recess, and then when we put the fork leg back in, it doesn't get caught. And then you have to buy a whole new seal kit. So that's that. Okay, so I've put the fork in the lowers on its side a little bit. I'm going to add just a little bit of suspension oil. Now remember which side is your damper side, which is this guy here. So the brown fluid goes at the top. I'm just going to add a little bit all the way around the foam ring. It's just going to soak in. You can use your pick to move it around. Okay, I'm going to take my suspension grease. The fork doesn't take too much, so I'm just going to apply it to the inside of the seal and to the inside of the bushing. Just like that. Got my oil. The damper side has the larger hole, and it does say Thick Grip 2 on it. Now it takes 40 cc's of 5-weight Teflon, so this is what this whole syringe is, so I'll add this now. And then the smaller side is the air side. That only takes 10 of the 20-weight gold. Okay, I'm going to take my microfiber I've been using the whole time. I'm just going to clean the lowers off down here. So then I'll push the lowers back down. You should see, so there's the rebound side coming out. And then the air side. You may need to guide it with a pick or anything like that. Now I'm going to reuse these cross washer here. Stick the nut on. Now these get tightened down to 7 Newton meters, which is not a lot. I don't actually have a torque wrench that goes that low, but we can tighten it up here. I'm just going to choke up the wrench, put it tighten, and then so the seal is made from the lowers into here, not from that cross washer. Let's say that's good. Tighten the top on. There we go. So both of these are tight now. Now this rebound dial is indexed. There's one flat side. Currently it's facing a direction where I can get it. If not, you'd want to be very careful. Just use some pliers and just move it, just in case you can't get to it. Now we can put the high-speed rebound dial on. The writing goes down, so if you're taking it off on the trail, you'll be able to read it. So it goes on like that. Then we have the low speed wavy washer, and then I'm going to put this on where the index is. You should be able to manually move them just like that. Put a little bit of grease on there. Just helps it seal a little bit better, stop it falling off. Just on that, there's an O-ring down there, which helps keep the dirt out of this guy here, so I'll put that back on. There we go. Okay, so we're almost done. Just gonna take the fork out, press it a few times. That's gonna let any of the excess grease come up through the seals. And now we're gonna clean it. Okay, last step. I'm just gonna spray some district cleaner on my rag here, microfiber, and just go over the fork, make sure there's no excess oil hanging around. And the reason I put it down on the floor and press it a few times is it leaves a ring of grease that you can take off. Stops dirt being attracted to it. Okay, so there we go. If you're running a founder, now's the best time to put it on. It's off the bike. And if you want any help removing the fork or installing it now afterwards, I got videos for that too. I'll probably link them up there somewhere. Okay, we're all set. Okay, there you go guys. Pretty easy to do. Again, I keep banging on about it that you should do this at least once every 3-4 months. It'll just put along your seals, save you some money in the long run. Now you're going to find that the fork's going to feel insane right now. It's going to be very, very supple. The small bump performance is going to be really, really good. Pretty easy. Just some household tools that you need, and some specific lubes and oils and that kind of stuff. Otherwise, it's pretty generic. Between the process of removing everything is pretty generic between most brands. The oils and stuff like that will be more specific, but we'll get to that when I get my hands on some different stuff. If you liked the video, you find it useful, I'd really appreciate if you drop a comment and hit the like button, subscribe too. If you didn't find this video useful, let me know why, see if I can improve for next time. And make sure to check out the links below too. I do sell a range of products, and it really helps grow the channel too. We'll see you next week when we'll do the shop. Cheers.